Okay, let's use the mind trick and Maul. Oh, I missed it. Force push. Maul's in the air. Oh my god, karate kick to Maul. I've defeated Maul. Let's save Anakin. Let's save Anakin from Dooku. I'm gonna kill Dooku. Nice. Let's go. We've done it. Oh, well, hello there. So today, I'm gonna be narrating over a crazy match I just had. So I used Obi-Wan and my opponent, or my teammate named Darth Jar Jar used Rey. And our opponents were Vader and Palpatine. One of the nastiest combos in all of Battlefront 2. So, me and my teammate, the legendary Darth Jar Jar, just stood there. And I just emoted, saying your move. Anyways, we made our way and ran off to defeat Vader and Palpatine. Although I was very skeptical and worried, because yes, it's Darth Jar Jar, but he is using Rey Skywalker, literally, and we're up against Vader and Palpatine. So I look out the window and I see Vader and Palpatine across us, and I see Rey making a run for it, and I see them in the hallway. It's gonna be an epic 2v2 duel, right? Well, Rey decides to charge in for no reason and is eating Force Lightning and saber attacks from Vader, while I'm just cowardly staying back. I waste the Force push completely. Palpatine uses his Dark Aura. I used my restricted mind trick, meaning we have the mind trick combo of Obi-Wan and Rey. Vader uses his saber throw, it hits Rey, and I'm just trying to run and dash back, but Darth Jar Jar over here, he's going in full force. Palpatine jumps behind me. I try to kill Palpatine. Rey is getting absolutely cooked by Vader. Rey even got force choked, and Vader defeated Rey. And now, I was in a 2v1 situation against Force Lightning, which I can't deflect, and against the best hero in the game, Darth Vader. So I was incredibly cooked. I used my Force push, and for some reason, like a coward and like General Grievous, I am starting to dash back. Palpatine uses his Dark Aura, but I keep dashing back. I keep using my dash button and going behind, and only using the defensive lunge, because that time I can't take saber attacks, but I can still take Force Lightning attack. I'm on 300 health, and I need to return to the objective, and I get absolutely destroyed by Vader and Palpatine in the 2v2, and it's round. Anyways, it's round 2, and I didn't show most of the gameplay here, because it was so bad. I used Obi-Wan, and my teammate used Luke. And we were up against Captain Phasma and Bossk. The annoying part is, since this is on the Naboo cruiser, they just camped all the way at the back, and every time we tried to go forward and make a run for the attack, Phasma would place a turn, Bossk would use the explosions and the poison gas, and me and Darth Jar Jar couldn't even do a single damage. We couldn't do a single hit, because every time we tried charging at them, they'd always do damage, and they'd just be camping at the back while we are just helplessly at the front, trying our best to come up with a plan. But unfortunately, in the end, our efforts were vain and we can't find up with a plan, and it ends up being on the draw. Round 3 is literally the same thing, copy and paste, Control-C and Control-V. Which goes to show how toxic our opponents are. But I tried charging in like a madman, but since I don't have Anakin, I can't force pull, and I get absolutely destroyed by Phasma's turret, and Bossk. While Darth Jar Jar with Luke barely survives, but it's still not enough, and the dark side gets another point. At this point, I've lost all hope. They're being toxic, and they're using Bossk and Phasma. So I used Obi-Wan again, and this time, Darth Jar Jar uses Anakin. And finally, our opponents, instead of using toxic loadouts like Bossk and Phasma, they actually use solid villains like Darth Maul and Count Dooku, and are actually trying to duel us and fight us for now, and not just camp around in the back and play mind games. So this was taking a long time, and I was getting very pissed off, meaning I was very impatient. Darth Jar Jar, like the madman he is, was fighting Maul and Dooku in a 2v1. I come in, rescuing Anakin, force pushing Dooku, karate kicking Dooku, and then me and Anakin dash back. And I'm trying to recharge my stamina. I do a mind trick, I lag a little bit, another mind trick, and I block the hits from Dooku. And it looks like Dooku fights Anakin while I engage in the 1v1 with Maul. I miss my defensive lunge and my force push. Not one of the most optimal strategies, but I see Dooku on low health. I try charging, but Maul's there. Anakin's taken barely any damage, so we're doing pretty good, I'd say. Out of the defensive lunge, it misses yet again. My force push actually hits Maul, but unfortunately Dooku saves Darth Maul. Maul dashes back, his saber throw hits me, I do a mind trick, but then Maul retreats. And so Anakin and Dooku are having their 1v1, and since I see their toxicness, I decide to take revenge and make this a 2v1. But Dooku survives, and Maul returns. Maul force chokes me, yeets me in the air, which Darth Maul always does. And me and Anakin are staying back, with Anakin and me both on full and max health. I use my mind trick, defensive lunge, miss again, force push the Maul, and then destroy him with a karate kick. And then Anakin and Dooku are literally fighting in a 1v1. Dooku uses Force Lightning, but I engage in the fight and we win and defeat them. And we finally get a point. But it seems too late. Okay, we're 1-2, they just need one win and they're done. I use Rey and my teammate uses Luke. And we're up against Iden Versio and Darth Maul. This is going to be very annoying. Because Iden Versio is one of the most stupidly overpowered ranged hero villains. I use Rey specifically just for the mind trick. Although, the problem is, since I don't use Rey and have no star cards on Rey, that is why my Rey is absolutely garbage. And we see Iden Versio sniping up top, but she's completely missing her hits. And I'm using my left trigger saber just in case Iden Versio tries to shoot me. Yes, I am using the Rey Skywalker skin, despite how controversial it is, specifically because of the yellow lightsaber. I try to ambush Iden Versio, but then I see that Darth Maul's whole strategy is that Iden Versio is going to be shooting us, while Maul is going to be protecting Iden Versio. Meaning we can't even do anything yet again, and they're again doing their stupid shenanigans and harambal tactics. But this time I decided to play the long game, because I've seen what happens when we're impatient. So me and Darth Jar Jar decide to play the long game, and we're just fooling around. I take a little bit of damage, but it's no worries, it's only 5 HP after all. I try dashing back and try to see their game plan, but I turn on my lightsaber just to sneak up, just in case they try to come up here and attack us. That's why I turn on my lightsaber and I see Darth Maul. And I realize something. And I finally realized that in this match, Maul is protecting Iden Versio. However, so far Iden Versio is just staying on the ground and trying to snipe me and Luke. However, me and Luke have one advantage, the high ground. And that is why these guys are not even doing any damage to us. I mean, Darth Jar Jar literally turned off his lightsaber. I don't even know why I have my lightsaber on. So I go a little bit front to analyze the game plan, and I see Maul just chilling at the back. And Iden Versio tries to snipe me, and she finally does some damage. Maul does a saber throw. I do my mind trick, which it doesn't do anything. And Iden Versio is just shooting at me. And she's even doing her explosions. And Iden Versio does an explosion which goes right over my head. Thank goodness I'm not Grievous, because Grievous is really tall. And Luke decides to jump down, and I think that we are done for. Because Darth Jar Jar is jumping down and he's running away like a madman, and Iden Versio and Maul are engaging him. So I decide to run in and try to kill Iden Versio, which is foolish of me because I am a default Rey, which is doing absolutely horrible. So I'm dashing back, and Iden Versio's explosions literally whittle me down to 280 HP. And I'm hoping for the best, as I'm praying that Darth Jar Jar doesn't lose, as he's in a 2v1. But somehow, I hear from the tactical droid that Luke has somehow killed Iden Versio. And now it's me, Luke, versus Maul. However, both Luke and Maul have very low health. However, with my weak Rey and my lack of expertise with Rey, I know that I'm gonna have to keep Darth Jar Jar alive, otherwise I am done for. So I use the mind trick, I try lunging, and I whittle down Maul to some decent HP, but I also lose half my HP. I'm on critical health, Maul's on the ground, and Luke is on low health. Maul almost force chokes me out of the map, and Darth Jar Jar defeats Maul. And all of a sudden, we equalize the score to 2-2 against these toxic opponents. So then, my teammate uses Yoda, the last of the lightsaber heroes, and I am forced to use Han Solo, my favorite blaster hero in the game. And our opponents use Darth Maul and Kylo Ren, which is very scary. Maul's really fast with his lunges and saber throw and his force choke, and Kylo Ren has a freeze ability and a frenzy ability, which is going to be really scary. And it's going to be a nightmare for Han Solo. And unless Darth Jar Jar stays by my side all the time and tries to protect me, I am going to get flamed by those two. So I see Darth Jar Jar with Yoda hiding behind the wall, and I throw in my thermal detonator, do some damage. Maul is on the ground. However, Maul's attacking me. I roll towards Maul for some reason. My camera's and controls become weird. I'm taking damage, and I don't see Yoda. And I'm scared because I'm trying to fire, but I am taking aim. But I literally need aimbot. I'm taking damage, and Maul is on really low health. I try sniping him, but Maul literally is deflecting my blaster bolts. Yoda somehow defeats Kylo Ren with pretty much little to no damage. I'm rolling around, still missing shots and a thermal detonator. Yoda's fighting Maul. Maul tries to retreat, but I shoot Maul in the very end. And me and Darth Jar Jar pull off the epic comeback where we beat our toxic veteran opponents who were all of the time just messing around with us. We finally beat them, and it was a well-deserved victory. Okay? It was a very well-deserved victory, and just like that, I had a good day, and we pull off the comeback. But anyways, if you want to see more Battlefield 2 gameplay like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.